Hello everybody, this is Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Under a Killing Moon. Well, we have ourselves a job. We need to find who broke into Rook's Pawnshop, and we're here at the scene of the crime, getting ready to look for some clues.
Well, obviously the window was broken from the outside.
And let's see. This all looks suspicious. Key of some type, possibly dropped by the perpetrator.
Looks like a shoe print is outlined in that sticky pool of something resembling chocolate. Footprints about a size 14.
And thankfully that actually is chocolate, because if we look around here, we'll see...
An empty bottle of evanescent spring water, for those with a higher class of thirst. The baby rum wrapper looks like it was left recently. Yep. Still warm. These are empty jumbo-sized cans of Camel's chunky chocolate soup. Good.
Yeah, clearly somebody around here has a chocolate habit. And what do we have here?
Shard of glass must have come from that broken window. Now we're starting to get somewhere.
Alright, we'll take a close examination of this.
Looks like whoever broke into Rook's window left one of his hairs behind. Apparently our burglar is a carrot top.
Alright, got some new clues here. Got a size 14 shoe. They're a redhead. Chelsea told us earlier he had green eyes and a tattoo of an anchor. And so we've got more chocolate
The empty
syrup
bottles
here.
of chocolate syrup lying all around this alley all look like they've been licked clean.
Gross.
Ten seconds left. Down by one. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's foul.
Say.
Another billboard advertising cosmetic surgery. It's big business these days. Mutants with money will pay anything to look like norms. Reminds me of playing hoops when I was younger, in the days before my lower vertebrae turned into petrified rock. Whoever uses these garbage cans is either a terrible shot or is saving them for that special piece of trash.
Alright, well, it doesn't look like there's much else here at the moment, at least not on this end of the alleyway.
Well, that steep staircase looked really hard to climb.
That sounds like a challenge. Not so hard.
It feels like somebody's watching. Someone really weird.
Huh. There's a door.
Hey, this door's just painted on. Hey, this door's just painted on.
Now, well worth a shot. And it looks like the trail of chocolate leads to the dumpster here.
Oh, man! This dumpster smells like 20-year-old mayonnaise, and I ought to know. Well, I'll be darned. Except for the filth and stench, the interior isn't much different than the average studio apartment. In fact, it's nicely furnished. Someone's been living here, and I wonder if he saw anything. Whoa! This antique boombox worked. I bet it'd only play the Bee Gees. This old relic probably hasn't worked in years. Hey, there are batteries in here. I wonder if these still work. Tingly tongue. Still got juice.
Alright, well, whoever lives here isn't here at the moment. Is that Domo on the front? Huh. Weird.
Oh, I would love to see my ex-mother-in-law squeeze through there.
Ah, Dolores Lightbody. Well, that was stepmother-in-law, but that's besides the point. And as long as we're looking for clues, we might as well go talk to the rest of the neighborhood, see if anybody saw anything.
Well, it's that handsome P.I. Tex Murphy. Have you come to take me away?
Ha ha ho ho hee hee. Let's see, cowboy humor, undecided, no thanks. Let's go cowboy humor.
How'd you guess? You must have seen my white horse hitched to the railing out front.
Oh my, Mr. Murphy, you certainly know how to excite a girl.
You're not a girl. Let's see, sex appeal humor, get more formal, shatter the fantasy of a lonely woman. Let's keep things businesslike. Before I get the business.
Well, that's very nice of you to say, Mrs. Lucido. But I'm here on business.
Oh, pooh! All the business and no pleasure makes even a private dick a dull boy. What do you want?
Let's see, ask about the burglary.
I heard that Rook's place got robbed. It scares me to death. There's so much crime in this part of the city. Can't help you, Tex.
Alright.
He was a weirdo who opened up a shop just down the street. That would have been a couple of years ago. The business went under in a hurry and the clown just disappeared.
She won't know anything about the Colonel.
Ardo is an overgrown kid. He comes in here for the all-you-can-eat buffet, and I've got to kick him out every time. If I didn't, he'd eat everything we got. Me and Sal got married too young, and it's been up and down ever since. I've had enough of his drinking and the womanizing, and I'd divorce him in a second, but he's got a couple of buddies who are top lawyers. If I had some hard evidence of his screwing around, I could divorce him and get a decent settlement.
That seems like foreshadowing.
Well, I was hoping you'd get around to asking about me. I'm just a lonely, hot-blooded woman who needs the love of a good, strong man.
Well, go find you one.
I like Louis. He runs a nice place, and I go over there and chat with him when the business is slow.
So you're over there chatting all the time. Seriously, I haven't seen anybody patronizing any of the local businesses except me.
Chelsea is a nicer girl. Sal tries to flirt with her, but she doesn't give him the time of day. Rook is a tough old geezer. I've known him ever since we opened the Slice of Heaven back in '32, but I can't say I know him very well.
Yeah. Nice little bit of flavor there. Let's go ahead and check out the Bruin stew. And what's this out in front?
Well, this is a section of the Bay City Mirror. It's a weekly newsletter that covers local goings-on written by mutants for mutants. I'd subscribe if they had a comics page.
Alright. Looks like there's a fair bit of information that we can look at in here. Burglaries baffle police. The total of inner-city pawnshop burglaries committed over the past 3 weeks now stands at 9. Zippy Cash, located on the corner of Jackson and Maple Streets, was broken into 3 nights ago. Pawnshop owner Urban Roby did not report the crime until this morning, thinking it was simply a practical joke played by his friends. Tragically, this was not the case. Of the 9 burglarized pawnshops, Zippy Cash was only the second one not owned by a mutant. There has been some speculation that the police are not working to actively investigate the crimes, since most of the victims are mutants. Mayor Linder, who is up for re-election later this year, and will need the mutant vote to retain his position, has publicly called the police onto the carpet. Police Lieutenant Mac Malden, who is heading the investigation, denies the police are dragging their feet. What we're dealing with here is some kind of criminal master criminal. He just haven't left us much of anything to work with. Lieutenant Malden assured the burglaries have all been committed by the same person. The MO's method of operation have been almost identical. A girl goes to a pawn shop, hawks a piece of jewelry for a large amount of cash, that shop is broken into that same night. Lieutenant Malden will not specify, but said his team of detectives have some evidence and hope to have solid leads within the next few days. Yeah, Mac Malden was the police officer that we spoke with during the Martian Memorandum case. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Body found in Bay. The body of Faniel Murray 29 was discovered floating in the San Francisco Bay early yesterday morning. Spotted by passengers on a whale sighting Scuttle, the body was recovered by police, then was sent to the city coroner's office for an autopsy. The cause of death has been listed as suicide, though bystanders report that the corpse was remarkably disfigured and contorted. Walt Grimm, a personal injury lawyer, followed the ambulance to the coroner's and reported that a quarantine was initiated not long afterwards. The reason for the quarantine has not been made public. Old Jim's Bait Shop, lively crawlers, and an old coffee can of your choice. Need cash? At Oregon Trail Clinic, we pay up to $50 cash for any and all vital organs. We also pay market rate for arms, legs, and eyeballs. Are you a lefty who's short on rent? Bring in that right arm. Must be removed on site to meet AMA requirements. Our friendly qualified staff will be happy to sever that limb, and you'll walk out moments later with a few extra dollars in your pocket. Hurry in, and don't forget to ask about our frequent donor program. Poet's Corner. This week's poem was sent in by 15-year-old Bappo Wong. Haiku to a taco. Soft shell taco mine, what meat art thou concealing? Who cares? It's tasty. Alright. Senator committed to asylum. Reese's press conference hysterics surprised many. Senator Martin Reese, Republican New Mexico, who had called a press conference, assumedly to announce his intentions to leave politics to join the PGA, erupted into hysterics today. Witnesses reported the senator who shouted, "Texas is just too bleeping big. Run for your lives before it eats us all." Senator Reese, long considered one of the more mentally sound figures on Capitol Hill, had to be restrained and was led away in a makeshift straitjacket. When questioned about Senator Reese's rantings, Representative Lilana Elwich, Democrat Texas, professed complete ignorance. Everybody knows Texas is big, but really. Most people who witnessed the display admitted to being surprised at the senator's behavior, though not everyone. House Speaker Bob Brogg, Democrat Maine, commented, "Senator Reese's outburst is hardly shocking to those of us who've worked with him. We knew all along he was a whacked-out, thumb-sucking piece of bleep." Senator Reese will be examined tomorrow by psychiatrists who are confident that a complete recovery can be made despite the senator's many years in Congress. And here we see some of the wacky humor that has made this series famous. Editorial, Why the Crusade Must Be Stopped, Part 2 of 5 by Lougie Trundle. Hey, that name again. In the years since World War III, we have seen a growing form of discrimination which has come into full malevolent bloom. Thankfully, we are not talking about racial or sexual bias, both of which are no longer the blights on society they once were. The social disease that afflicts us now is genetic discrimination. There are, in this world, evil forces that exist with the specific purpose of separating the genetically unchallenged from the rest of the population. This eugenics movement, the classifying of humans by their genetic quality, has been around since the late 1800s, but in those days humans were already classified by skin color and gender. Several significant movements in history have attempted to exterminate an entire race, and I believe we are witnessing yet another. The crusade for genetic purity is spearheading this dark movement. Reverend Shepherd, in the guise of a placid, benevolent teacher, is in reality a hate monger. His words, softly spoken, plant the seeds of hate between those with genetic flaws and those without. And now the crusade has trumpeted the arrival of the Moonchild, the so-called refuge of the pure. Supposedly a religious retreat where the faithful crusaders go to take part in spiritual ceremonies, it is in reality a symbol of divisiveness, a jewel in the heavens where only if the few may go, the rest excluded by a condition they did not ask for and cannot change. When will each and every inhabitant on this earth open his or her eyes? I hope for the day when we will all be able to look upon each other as human beings, not as man or woman, black or white, mutant or norm. To paraphrase Shakespeare, I am a mutant. Half not a mutant, hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions, fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you poison us, do we not die? Well, not if you have that mutation that makes it harder for you to die from poison or radiation, but that's besides the point. Let's see, Art and Soul by Albie Tewksbury. Art is not just dead in the Bay Area, its rotting corpse is stinking up the place. The latest excuse for an art exhibit was unveiled at the Inks and Oils Emporium, or the Stink and Spoils Emporium, as I am wont to call it. This pathetic showing by an alleged artist who calls himself Logo was the most hideous spectacle of the last season. At least this Logo character has an inkling of intelligence. If I dared to pass off such putrid trash as art, I wouldn't use my real name either. The most striking thing about the presentation was the artist's hairdo, which closely resembled a dust mop used to soak up an oil spill, then dried to a crisp under a sun lamp. On the lighter side, Kay Winthrop's Black Tie Art Appreciation Fundraiser was not nearly as unbearable as I'd feared it would be. The featured artwork, as always, was despicable, but for once the hors d'oeuvres didn't make me vomit. The champagne was not vintage, but not the cat pee of previous years. All in all, not a complete waste of an evening. Until next time, just remember, life without art is just life. And finally, police officers acquitted of assault in civil suit. Got Officer Harris, Officer Adler. Fine, upstanding-looking gentlemen, those. Angry protests were staged today outside the 5th Precinct Courthouse, where 2 Norm police officers, Joey Harris and Dean Adler, both incidentally members of the Crusade for Genetic Purity, were found not guilty of assault and battery on a private citizen, Emo Dooley. An unemployed homeless mutant had brought a civil suit against the officers, saying they had randomly picked him out of a group of stragglers and beaten him senseless. This is the 4th suit brought against Norm members of the SFPD this year alone. Each trial is an acquittal. Undoubtedly, this has given police an added sense of immunity, leading to more mutant accusations of civil rights violations. The 2 mutant, 10 Norm jury deliberated for only 3 minutes and 18 seconds before returning the not guilty verdict. Juror Laney Fox explained the reason for the quick decision made by the jury. The prosecution never convinced us that Mr. Dewey has not always looked the way he does. The ACLU announced it is planning to appeal. So in the far future of 2042, we still have Trump supporters. Alright.
The Brew and Stew is run by Louis Lamintz, a bloated mutant with a heart bigger than his waistline. Everyone comes to Louise Cafe. So does all the street talk. If something's going on, Louis knows about it.
What can I do for you, Mike?
Let's go with suds and hugs.
How about a pitcher of beer and the love of a good woman, Louis?
I can't help you with the woman, Mike. No problem with the beer, though. Put it on your tab?
Cynical observation, Norm Peterson, thirsting grateful. Yeah, Norm Peterson, for those of you youngins who never watched the Cheers show, he was a barfly who continually kept putting his drinks on his tab. Let's go with cynical observation.
Sure. I'll take a beer over women anyway. It's easier to stomach.
Spoken like a true philosopher, Mike. A cold beer is truly one of life's simpler pleasures.
All right, let's go ahead and ask about the burglary.
Rook's been robbed before, but he's never had anything really valuable taken. This is gonna set Rook back for a while. Too bad the cops have turned a blind eye.
Yeah, speaking of cops, we've got 2 new topics here. Mac Malden.
He's one of the few Norms besides you who's eaten here. Seems like a typical cop. A little dim, and not too concerned about what happens in the mutant sections of town.
All right.
Ever since the Crusade started up, the relations between Norms and mutants has gone to pot. I've had rocks thrown through my windows, graffiti sprayed on the bricks outside. There's not much I can do, though.
All right.
He was a strange one. He had a show on TV for a while, got pretty popular. Then he quit the show and went into business. He opened up a shop right up the street from here.
All right.
I guess he wasn't a very good businessman. The shop went out of business within a couple of months. Then Rusty just disappeared. I heard he'd made some enemies in the novelty trade. Fido comes in now and again. Usually orders a couple of steaks and a chocolate milk. His temper's as short as he is tall. And he's only got 1 oar in the water. A bad combination.
All right, I'll ask about Sal.
Sal's a big guy with an appetite for food, wine, and women. He comes by here most every day for lunch. Granny's a fireball. She and Sal opened a pizza place 7 to 8 years ago, and they've been fighting ever since. Yeah, things are a little slow, but I'm getting by. Having to lay off some of my kitchen help hurt my pride more than anything. Chelsea acts tough, but she has to be with all the scum around. And she's as smart as she is pretty. She knows a lot of what goes on in the shadows of this city.
Bit of a hint there in case we need to make shady connections later. And we will.
Rook's an ornery old cuss, but me and him are old buddies. We fought in the big war together. He's one person you can trust in these troubled times.
And yeah, it's worth noting at this point, you may have noticed that the quality of some of the acting varies here and there. And it's not just the professional actors versus the amateur actors playing some of the smaller parts. I mean, we have the, crazy Francesca stereotype there. But then Louis, it's not Olivier, but it's a nice, understated, bloke performance. And might as well, speed up. Check out the hotel.
Ardo Newpop is a gigantic goon who works at the front desk at the Golden Gate Motel. Ardo's no rocket scientist. In fact, he probably doesn't even know what a rocket scientist is.
Let's go with BooTube hobnobbing since he seems to be watching TV.
Anything good on the tube today?
Uh-huh. I'm watching the Captain Wallaby show, and he's so funny.
Incidentally, this is writer Aaron Connors playing Ardo. Let's show some interest.
Captain Wallaby, your favorite show?
It's my third favorite show. My favorite is the Inspector Burns Fire Safety Show.
Let's see. Disagreeable response, name-dropping fib, make conversation. Oh, let's name drop.
You know, Ardo, Inspector Burns and I are really good friends.
You are? Wow! I'd do anything to meet Inspector Burns.
Let's see. Lie shamelessly, sarcastic change the subject, patronizing manipulation. In for a penny, in for a pounding.
Look, Ardo, if you'll answer some of my questions, I might bring Inspector Burns in to meet you. Would you like that?
Okay. I can answer some questions, but first I have to put on my fire hat because Inspector Burns' Fire Safety Show is going to be on pretty soon.
Yeah, Ardo is definitely a childlike figure. At least for a given value of childhood. I know back when I was a kid, I had a tradition of putting on my Batman underoos whenever the Super Friend cartoon was on. Did I just share too much? Well, I was 6 at the time, so never mind.
I went to his pawn shop because I thought he would have Inspector Burns action figures, but he didn't, and I got mad at him, so he probably don't like me.
Okay.
Ooh, Chelsea is pretty cool, because she's got good magazines and stuff. That's where I bought my Inspector Burns Fire Safety Manual.
Let's see, Louis.
He's a nice guy, and I like to eat there because there's a TV.
Let's see, Francesca.
She's the lady who makes the best pizza. I eat at her pizza place all the time because I love it.
Let's see, Sal.
I don't know what that is.
I would ask about Ardo.
I just want to be like my hero, Inspector Burns, because fire safety is very important.
Ardo only pawn in Game of Life.
I used to watch his TV show, and it was pretty good, but then it stopped. And then he opened a store down the street, and I used to go there and buy stuff, but then it closed. I never heard nothing about that.
Okay, don't know anything about that.
I heard about that, but I don't know what a crusade is.
Okay, well, nothing useful from Ardo at the moment, but we did get points for talking to him. Got Rusty's business there, got a warehouse there. And we might see if Chelsea has anything else to say about the...
Hi, Tex. How's the investigation going? Is there anything I can do to help?
Oh, what a loaded question.
Sorry, I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay, well, let's ask about the Crusade.
The Crusade is big. I mean, much bigger than most people know. They have operatives all over, and then these huge sections of the Norm population are joining. Well, they say it's a religion, but then they encourage the members to be violent and prejudiced towards others.
So yeah, like I said, Donald Trump supporters. Alright, well. And I think that's going to be the last Donald Trump joke I make, because I would like for this video to be somewhat timeless, even though I'm recording this in August 2016, when that was still an issue. And on the odd chance that Donald Trump has become president after the time I've recorded this, please, for the love of God, get the time machines working and get back here to save us all. But in the meantime, let's see if the bum has come back home. Ah, yes. He is engrossed with stroking his chin. Well, I guess there's worse things he could be stroking.
Oh, looks like Mr. Bum is home for the evening.
All right.
Yeah, what do you want?
Let's see. All business, tongue-in-cheek, bum camaraderie. Yeah, let's go with bum camaraderie.
Looks like you're busy drowning your troubles, my good man.
Well, Mr. High and Mighty, what are you, a preacher or something?
Revivalist humor, more bum camaraderie, friendly change of subject.
Well, yes I am, brother, and I'm here to save your soul.
Yeah, and I'm the Pope. Get out of my face, you lying dirtbag.
And yes, he is drinking chocolate syrup straight from the bottle.
Oh, looks like Mr. Bum is home for the evening.
Thankfully, we can't keep talking to
Oh
him.
no, not you again. Look, I'll warn you right now, I'm almost out of chocolate syrup and I'm not in a good mood.
Kind of concerned and helpful, make an offer, condescending wit. Oh, let's go with kind of concerned.
Look, I'll do you a favor. If you're free Thursday, I'll take you to the Chocoholics Anonymous meeting.
Spare me the insults, tough guy. If you got something to say, spill it.
Well, I was just doing a little amateur sleuthing.
God, you are a pest!
And once more.
This isn't a good time for a social call, punk. If I don't get her fixed soon, I'll go insane! Story me faccio latte.
Let's see. Moderate compassion, mildly insulting humor, make an offer.
I don't make a practice of helping out addicts, but I think I've got something that will ease the pain.
Don't hold out on me, man. If you've got something, let's have it.
Well, I don't actually have anything. But I bet I know where I could get something that he would want.
What can I get you?
Chocolate.
You want to try a slice of my chocolate pie? I can get you a piece to go if you like.
That is some damn fine looking pie. Oh, and we can walk across this pretty quickly, especially since I have my speed maxed out. My name is Tex Murphy. I'm the fastest man alive. But we can also use the travel icon from here. And I can select Chandler Avenue and then select the alley behind Rook's and go to. And we get a nice little animation scene of Tex walking down the street. Ironically, I think it's faster for me to just walk there. Let's try this one more time.
This isn't a good time for a social call, punk. If I don't get her fixed soon, I'll go insane. Doremi faccio latte.
All right, make an offer.
I don't make a practice of helping out addicts, but I think I've got something that will ease the pain.
Oh, hold out on me, man. If you've got something, let's have it.
All right, offer the pie from inventory.
Praise heaven, you brought the ambrosia of life. Ask me anything you want.
All right, well, let's get to business. Burglary.
I saw someone prowling around the back of the pawn shop last night. It was so dark, I didn't get a good look at him, but I could tell he was huge. Probably 6'3" or 6'4", about 300 pounds.
All right, now that's a helpful clue. Let's see, 6'3", 6'4", 300 pounds. And what the heck, might as well ask him about everything else.
I stay out of politics, especially bad politics.
All right.
Wish I could help. That big goon, he used to hassle me until I shared a quart of chocolate syrup with him. Now he lets me alone. The only time I ever see Sal is when he gets drunk and comes by to pick a fight. Then I kick his butt and send him on his way. I don't have much to do with her. They don't serve anything with chocolate in it at the pizza joint. Nice guy, good cook. Every National Feed a Bum Day, he brings me one of his award-winning chocolate pies. Ugh.
Well, he's quite agreeable now that he's satisfied his habit.
I think Chelsea used to fancy me, till she found out my only true love was chocolate. Damn near broke her heart. Rook, he leaves me alone. Can't ask for more than that. Oh, don't know a thing about it.
All right. Well, I think that's exhausted everybody we can talk to around here and get a clue from. But there was something you may have noticed on our travel menu. We now have the police station as a location. And there's big old Big Nose himself, Mac Malden. And thankfully I can hit the space button to
I haven't seen Mac
skip
Malden
that.
since the Martian Memorandum case. I remember him as a surly, incompetent, fat-nosed cop. As I step into his office, I can see he's changed. His nose is even bigger.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy. I figured you'd be dead by now.
Yeah, and double whammy references here. We got the Dragnet theme. And I mentioned this before in the Martian Memorandum video, I think, but Mac Malden is a reference to Carl Malden, the famous big-nosed cop actor. Alright, so let's see. Friendly rejoinder, faux compliment. We'll go faux compliment because Mac responds well toward insults.
Good to see you too, Mac. You look great. That extra weight sure suits you.
Still the wise guy, eh, Murphy? It was great to see you. Now get lost!
Let's see. Finally, reminisce, dispense with small talk, make some helpful suggestions.
Listen, I'm working on a burglary case, and I'm looking for a lead.
You and me both, Seamus. The mayor's office is all over me again. You heard about the string of pawnshop robberies? We have no suspects, and I'm catching the heat for it.
Let's see. Pride which goes before the fall, suck up, or shocked by ineptitude. Yeah, Mac is not the type to enjoy, sucking up, and he's not going to like an attitude, so, let's go with shocked by ineptitude.
So you and your crack team of detectives have no leads?
Of course we have leads, you pots. We know he's a norm, Caucasian, and has AB negative blood. That narrows down our list of suspects to about 1 million. Now get out of my hair. I got work to do.
All right, well, we managed to trick him into giving away some info, and I think we've got enough to use the crime computer now. And as I was saying before, I can hit the space button here to skip these little transition scenes, which, let me tell you, after Mean Streets, it's very satisfying to not have to watch these flight sequences anymore, even though the animation has improved considerably. Let's just move over here. Alright, so we know he's a Caucasian. He's a norm, so not a mutant. Definitely male. The bum told us he was 6'3", 6'4", 300 pounds. So there's that. Red hair, we know that from the glass. Chelsea said he had green eyes, and she didn't mention, eyes, so she didn't mention a third one, so we'll assume it's 2. AB negative blood. Shoe size was a 14 from the footprint we found. And no distinguishing marks like that, but you have the anchor tattoo. And hey, we got a match. Let's view the suspect file. Alright, Mick Flem, male, Caucasian, non-mutant, red hair, 300 pounds, 2 green eyes, 6'4", AB negative blood. Date of birth, 11/05/03, San Francisco, California. Anchor tattoo, criminal record, got some burglary, mail fraud, attempted extortion, petty theft, burglary, arson, attempted fraud, grand theft, speeder, importing illegal novelty items. The whereabouts of McFlynn are unknown at this time. The SFPD are interested in questioning him about the recent disappearance and suspected murder of Rusty Cloud. It is likely that Flynn and Rusty were working together when Flynn was arrested for illegally importing Asian novelty items. Flynn may have murdered Rusty to get revenge for letting him take the fall. This theory has been supported by a street informant, Beak Neres, who claims to have seen Flem within the past few weeks. Neres reports seeing Flem in an extremely intoxicated state, apparently hallucinating, saying that Rusty Clown's ghost was out to get him. Can't sleep, clown will eat me. Can't sleep, clown will eat me. And yeah, that's definitely a sordid-looking fellow. And in case you hadn't noticed before, the title of this Day 1 chapter is Cuffing Up Flem. So I believe we have our man. But we're going to need another lead to track down where he's hiding out. And that is where we will start next time. We will see you then.